gentlemen, bots and boils, welcome to the Poetry Bound 2025. I am sitting here at Prost Alehouse and doing live poetry readings, and people are walking all around me and making a lot of noise. And hope the live feeds go through. The music playing in the background might be a problem. Sorry, but I'll do what I can. In the meantime, I was going to read things from upcoming issues of cc&d magazine, including a few that are going to be in the 32-year anniversary issue. It has not gone to press yet, but I have it here, and it is titled The Anniversary in This Town. Nobody has it because it hasn't been produced yet. I'm trying to show you guys a cover. I think that might be a thing. But the theme for 32 years is chrome, which is why everybody thinks that this tourist trap in Chicago is chrome. It's not, but and the concept of travel. So I have it as a tourist trap, and I have these chrome-colored suitcases in the background. And I was going to share with you a couple of new poems that I have never had published anywhere before that may be in an upcoming Cyberwit book if they publish something fine, or a collection book about anger and protest and fighting, which is what I think a lot of us feel right now. But I hope you enjoyed them. I've never shared them before. This first one, especially because it was for children, churches, and daddies, is called Nepotism from a Bad Daddy. Nepotism now runs rampant with our newly re-elected U.S. president. But then again, our last president's son wasn't so spot on with the law anyway. And I actually thought that nations only dealt with this when it came to royalty ruling their countries. But here in the States, I thought we were supposed to be smarter. But in this millennium, the entertainer-in-chief screams that presidents they don't like are from Kenya, because when it comes to exploiting fear, everyone hates anything not like them. So many children have been haunted by their daddies. Now we're all stuck with one bad daddy. Just like the other means the rights will have anything they could that could be construed as helping planet Earth, and understanding all the political spectrum makes it far too easy to connect fascist dots between any right-leaning leader to Hitler. Which rights are taken away as the pendulum swings from one direction oh so violently as the next. Obama was the one who caught bin Laden, shot him, and left him out to sea. But this millennium will remain known as Republicans starting wars, picking fights, thinking they're the leaders who can improve the moral will. And where does that leave us? Because if you don't know a leader of a free world or otherwise, nepotism's not going to save you. Which is why my head has been swimming. And not because my family's not in power, but because it's in the hands of people who jumped onto the chain of that pendulum and have been pushing and swinging, seeing how high that pendulum could really go. And that's the thing. Politicians have become giant children abandoned at the playground, and no one is watching to see what trouble they'll cause. And that's the thing. Back in the day, Republicans didn't make waves, but now they've trumped you, jumped onto this I must fit in with him mindset. And I still keep asking, where does that leave us? Where does that leave the children who feel they can do a better job of ruling the country, but no better than to step on those rancid waters expecting to rise above the governmental waste, versus merely floating or even sinking to the bottom, unable to hold your breath in the putrid stench that you can't escape. Because that's what happens when the pendulum swings so high. So many people trying to get so high, they keep throwing too much shit as they swing that they don't care where the shit falls. That's the thing. It's falling everywhere. And it's falling on us. Previously unread poem that's in the June issue of cc&d, The Anniversary in This Town. I'm trying to show you without a glare. I don't know if you're able to see it, but that's okay. You guys won't see it until June anyway, because that's the June anniversary issue. But anyway, I've got one, maybe two more, who knows. I've got it back. That's at the absolute beginning. Here we go. The next poem is titled "Overwhelm the Masses on Good Faith." Yeah, I try to get it related to our new president. Here we go. This is in the June issue of cc&d, volume 358, 625, the 32 anniversary issue. I keep talking about it. Called "Overwhelm the Masses on Good Faith." I know he was no longer the president. I also know most U.S. presidents cling to their Christianity like a baby blanket or a rope they can cling to seconds before they fall. Think of an ex-president, especially one who is raised with religion and now doesn't regularly attend church, where congregants of his childhood church say that he wouldn't be welcome there. Consider an ex-president, after suffering potential financial ruin, who decided to compile a Bible that also contained the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, minus any equal protection or presidential term limits stuff. But the Constitution prohibits the government starting religion, but he's an ex-president, so we won't concern ourselves with these already muddied waters. But an ex-president, after railing China for stealing American jobs when he was the president, he printed exorbitantly priced government document Bibles to sell that were all made in China. Think of it as a politician who used religion with capitalism to get out of financial disaster. Is this starting to make any sense? His lack of connectivity to a church, I didn't say lack of faith, I cannot in good conscience make that claim, but his lack of connectivity to a church may have allowed the evangelical to use the evangelicals by pulling on their religious heartstrings so that he could overwhelm the masses by rallying people around his message. I used to believe in abortion, but now I don't. That kind of thing. I used to hang with Democrats, but now I don't. Because you found a religious group that you could exploit to get your way. Because by now, it's clear that it's all become one big performance art show. Play the part to get what you want. I'm a performance artist. I get it. I just didn't know that such painful performance art would rule the free world. Twice. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think I might have one more for you from this. This is in the upcoming cc&d issue. In June, the 32-year anniversary issue. So I gotta cover stuff about, religion and government, because that seems only appropriate. This one is titled Oligarchy. Oh, I might have two, but short. Oligarchy wielding power. Protesting is all we can do. I've heard too many complain when the populist oligarchy came into power today. I can't believe I put those two words together. When populism is a push against the elite for all the people, and oligarchy describes a country led by a select few. But how is protesting helping when people's news sources have become social media, led by the same giants who funneled billions into our now populist leader so that they could have what they want? Maybe it's those tech kings we should be afraid of when they wield so much power. But days before this populist came to power in the once freest country of the world, a study was released from the Netherlands showing that yes, social media may be the people's news source now, but the biggest distorter of that news on social media is right-wing populists. So when everyone chooses what news they want to hear, reason and logic be damned. For what good do protests do when everyone has already closed their minds and ears? I think I've got one-pager left, and then I will stop for another reading for you guys. Oh, more new stuff. What? I know, hard to fathom, but there's one more from the June issue of cc&d, and it's really short. One-pager titled "Once Free, Once Slave Supported." Today was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The same day an egocentric megalomaniac took over as leader of this once free, yet once slave-supporting country. Without even stepping outside, I could feel the winds rattling the house foundations this morning. The windows shook as I could almost hear the oppression rattling my window panes, trying to blow my house down. You guys can see this issue when it's coming out, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I might do another reading for you of new material from future issues of cc&d for the 2025 Poetry Bomb. Give it up for you all. That's double plus cool. Kill that live feed. I'll be right back in just a second. Thank you, thank you, thank you.